All right, I'm going to start the recording, so.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Against your will.
We didn't discuss that.
Oh, yeah, you guys are off anyway. Fuck you. I didn't even turn your fucking mics on, so fuck you.
Eat a fat
We're
dick.
fine with that. Just do the show, TJ.
Just do it by myself?
Oh, yeah. Turn our mics off.
Go ahead.
Yeah, dude. I'll put on my fucking sunglasses and pretend not to be asleep.
Cool.
Come on, TJ.
It's just
Give
up to
it,
me
give it to
now.
me. Give it to me. Hold up.
Give you the news, huh?
Give me the...
We're ready.
Oh,
Go ahead.
This just in, podcaster kills 2 co-hosts in violent rampage.
I wouldn't want to be those losers.
yeah. Poor bastards.
No. We got a lot today, honestly. There's a lot of shit.
Is there a lot? Is it shit, though? Is it a lot of shit to shovel, or is it good news? Or is it juicy news?
It's good, dude.
I mean, there's
feeling
some
it.
interesting shit, I feel like. We're going to start with something that's kind of not super interesting, though.
oh,
Why?
Probably
that's
some-
always a great
Yeah.
place to start.
We're going to start with
Yeah.
something lame.
Start with the shittiest story. Yeah,
Okay.
because, why not? Why not, Let
You're
it
a
build.
lead with your worst foot
Right.
kind of performer.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Yeah, lead with your
let
worst
it build
foot.
up. Then the rest of the show, they have a lowered expectation.
What
you
you're
know?
supposed to do is slap them in the mouth immediately with your best story,
Dude,
TJ.
they're watching our podcast. You know they have lowered expectations.
Yeah,
Let's be
exactly.
honest.
We need that jingle. You remember the jingle from Saturday Night Live?
What was it?
Lowered expectations.
Oh, yeah. That was from Mad TV, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
so.
I think you're right.
I miss Mad TV.
You are right.
Mad TV was way better than SNL.
Well, in the 90s,
In the
they
90s,
they competed with one another, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Warren won't do big money fundraisers in general election. Does this win Warren any points for either of you?
No.
No.
Why not?
Because she's still going to be taking big handfuls of fucking corporate money.
Big gobs of cash.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, one of the leading candidates for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, said in an interview posted Tuesday she will not hold big money fundraisers at any point during her
It's
presidential
probably like
run.
a gift to those billionaires. They're like, oh, great. I don't have to go to another one of those cringy political rallies. I can just hand you the fucking money directly. Thanks. Like, why do people think this is a good thing? I'm going to hide in the shadows the amount of corporate money that I'm taking.
Ah,
What a moral good I've done.
Yay, progressive politics.
well,
Ugh.
we already know anyone can start a super PAC to support anyone they want and give it unlimited amounts of money. So this is a nothing statement.
yeah, but she's not going to do no $5,000 a plate fundraiser, though.
I don't have to get the fucking tux out of the fucking closet and have the servants press it. I'll have to drink bad champagne at
It's-
another one of these long, droning political rallies. I can just pay her directly. Fucking A, dude. The future is now.
It's a PR move and it's antiquated. These fucking dinners are just a way for people to be like, I'm hobnobbing with this person.
I mean, it's just lip service on the left. Like, I'm not corporate. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that's all it takes, then kudos to you. Kudos to you for being a good little lockstep fucking leftist. Ugh. Both sides of this political aisle make me want to fucking puke.
I love it.
You haven't already?
Multiple times.
Fair
Protein
enough.
spill.
Dude, I spent the fucking 15 or 20 minutes before this show watching Trump talk. It was insane. It's put me in this fucking crazy mood.
A crazy good mood.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to Trump. We'll get to some Trump
don't you worry,
for you.
Paul.
Oh,
Don't
thank
you worry.
goodness.
Don't you worry, Paul. But first, Renee Riggs, Bernie Sanders' daughter-in-law, dies suddenly at 46 after cancer diagnosis. Riggs, a neuropsychologist and mom of 3, died 2 days after being diagnosed with neuroendocrine cancer,
Whoa, tough fucking break,
according
man.
to her obituary.
Man,
And she'd only been diagnosed 2 days before. so-
CNN really hates Bernie, man. They're doing everything they can to fucking stop this They gave him that heart attack.
First, they fucking use their heart attack ray
Yeah.
on him.
And
And
now-
they fucking murder his
Right.
fucking daughter-in-law.
They
I mean,
injected
like, they'll
his
stop at
daughter-in-law.
nothing.
You're not going to drop out, Bernie? Just
Fucking
you
Anderson
wait.
Cooper calling Bernie at fucking 2 a.m. and just breathing into the phone.
Better watch your back.
I don't wash my pants.
He doesn't. That's true. I forgot that little factoid,
Oh, yeah.
but nothing was lost on Scotty, dude. Yeah, that's weird. Anderson Cooper does not wash his pants. But anyway, yeah, this obviously sucks dick for Bernie, who just, had his own health scare and shit. You know, having a run of fucking bad luck. If you
Don't
believe
you
in
love in this country how instead of talking about policy or substantive issues, instead the Huffington Post decided to cover Bernie Sanders' daughter-in-law's death.
Yep.
And while that's really sad and I'm really sorry for them, this is really not a big news story. You know, it's someone that died, then unfortunately they got cancer. It's kind of like the redneck, like, don't go to the doctor. You go to the doctor, you dead in a couple days. And she's one of those people that went to the doctor and was dead in a couple days. I mean, I read the background on it, and she'd been sick for like a month or two, and they were trying to figure out what was wrong with her. And then, unfortunately, it was a rare form of cancer, which obviously took her life very
right,
quickly.
and she was only diagnosed a few days before death.
Well,
so.
she had very advanced cancer,
Right.
stage 4.
So I mean, it was at a point where she was having like adverse health effects from it and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Matt Lauer raped somebody?
Yeah.
He's accused of anal rape.
Yes.
Holy that's a whole different level of rape.
It is.
That's super rape.
Holy fuck.
He did super rape, unfortunately.
Dude, Matt
Or
Lauer
maybe.
forcibly butt-fucked somebody?
Allegedly.
Well,
Dude, if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I would have laughed in your face and put $1 in your fucking styrofoam cup.
Maybe Tom Cruise fucking knew. You know what I mean? When they had that crazy interview, Tom Cruise was fucking feeling that rape energy come off.
you don't
him.
know the history of butt rape. I do.
What the fuck?
Don't worry.
Matt Lauer butt raped somebody?
Allegedly. I don't want to say he did it.
Oh,
We're gonna read. You'll have your chance later,
man,
Paul.
fuck you, Berenstain Universe. What the fuck is this?
All right, it's finally time for you to talk about Trump, Paul. Pull it
God.
together.
Okay,
Pull it
sorry.
together. You'll get to
I'm
talk
together.
about Matt Lauer's butt
This is
fucking ways
By the way,
later.
this is a horrible picture. If you're listening,
Oh
you
yeah,
know-
as opposed to all the great.
no, but I mean,
pictures.
this is like, oh god, dude, I feel like he's just this is like a carnival fucking.
Someone needs to
going
just
on.
make that put that in the Jaws poster because it looks like he's about to go eat those teenagers.
I'm
So-
sorry. I'm still. I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time with this Matt Lauer
It's
revelation.
all right, man.
All right, you know
All right,
what?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
We can just go to
No,
the
no, no, no,
Lauer
no, no,
thing
no.
if you want.
No, I don't want to know anymore.
All right.
It's our childhood is already gone. Fuck
Why
it.
was Matt Lauer your childhood
he was
hero?
the last sliver, dude.
Oh,
He was the last one that was normal.
Hero.
You know what I mean?
Watch
he was the
him
last
mainly
normal
rape
one.
people.
For first time, Joe Biden.
Master
calls.
Splinter caught masturbating at a kindergarten. You know what I mean? Like, what's next?
No, don't say it.
What's next? Anyway,
Paul,
sorry.
this is the way I am.
For first time, Joe Biden calls for Trump to be impeached.
I like this position.
You do?
Yeah, I like the impeachment. I don't necessarily like the reasons that they've chosen,
I hate impeachment, dude.
but I
Terrible.
like the whole impeachment. It's going to be great political theater for about 6-8 months now. It's going to be great.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden said Wednesday for the first time that President Donald Trump should be impeached for abusing
Yes.
the powers of his office.
That's right.
Wrong.
Biden made the remarks as part of a blistering, you guys, 25-minute campaign speech in New Hampshire.
Damn.
Biden said Trump is shooting holes in the Constitution by asking foreign powers. You know, shooting holes in the Constitution sounds American as fuck, honestly.
He's shooting holes in the Constitution.
Wow, he's a badass.
Yeah, that makes
Why
Trump sound-
hasn't that been done in a movie?
Why does Joe Biden always make his political opponents sound way more badass than they are? It's like I'm just envisioning Trump like a fucking with a shotgun on his porch taking pot shots at the Constitution. Come on, Joe Biden, stop it.
This is a president who has decided this nation doesn't have the tools, the power, the political will to punish bad behavior, Biden said.
But it doesn't.
Well, yeah, it sounds like he's right. So
Yeah.
he's not just testing us, he's laughing at us, as he should be. I think all of America pretty much laughs at you, Joe Biden.
I mean, yeah, at this point, he's laughing at you for sure. I don't know if he's laughing at us.
I mean, like,
You know who didn't laugh at Joe Biden? Corn Pop, dude.
Corn Pop didn't laugh, dude.
Corn Pop had nothing to say.
Joe Biden wiped that smile off Corn Pop's smug fucking face.
Thank goodness for that white guy that did the black guy that did all the pool cleanings to cut him a length of chain.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it was
that was
beautiful.
good.
Man, I'm glad that guy was there. This whole Corn Pop thing could have taken a dark turn.
Taking you down, Corn Pop. Taking you down.
Man, I almost said something that was totally taboo right there, dude.
Be careful.
Can I say it before now that I acknowledge that I shouldn't have said it? Doesn't that
You have to say it through an ignorant redneck character that doesn't know any
all
better.
right. Corn Pop would have did us a favor. If he would have just ignored that chain and put that butterfly knife right in Biden's stupid fucking chest.
There you go. That was
my
Paul's
redneck
character that said that
Whoa.
doesn't reflect the views
That
of
was
anybody here.
super offensive, but also a redneck character.
I mean, is that really the same thing as like what that law is in place for? Me going back in time? Like, is there time travel?
there should be.
Because there's no way I can make Corn Pop do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
impossible.
is it real? I'm not even insinuating anybody should.
Hey, you know what, Paul? Maybe you'll be visited by people from the future who give you the ability to make that happen.
Right.
So therefore, you're committing a crime.
Well,
Yeah, it's about
I'm not
bloody
committing a
time.
crime because I did it in my redneck character. What doesn't know no
you
better.
actually didn't do it. It was the redneck character.
Yeah,
that made this
It was my redneck
insensitive.
character.
The
Violent.
redneck character. Yeah, usually if you say something that you think might play
Just make
bad,
it a redneck?
Yeah, just make it a redneck, and then people will just be like, "Oh, well, it's a
love that.
redneck," you know?
Dude, I love rednecks, dude.
Yeah.
We need them so much.
Yep.
They're a perfect sponge for all of that.
Yeah. So whenever you feel a thought like that coming up, just channel it into the redneck voice, and you'll be fine. It was satire. White House declares war on impeachment inquiry,
As it should.
claiming effort to undo Trump's election.
Sounds right to me.
The White House declared war on the House impeachment inquiry on Tuesday, announcing that it would not cooperate with what it called an illegitimate effort to overturn the results of the 2016 election
Okay.
and setting the stage for a constitutional clash with far-reaching consequences. In a letter to House Democratic leaders, the White House said the inquiry had violated precedent and denied President Trump's due process rights in such an egregious way that neither he nor the executive branch would willingly provide testimony or documents.
I gotta be honest with you, TJ. Maybe Trump did this shit, maybe he didn't. But all I know is I got a fucking bet. And what's more important? This country's at stake, TJ. It's at stake right now. But you know what's also at stake? My cold hard cash!
He's so
Trump's innocent! Trump's innocent!
Oh, shit. That's right. I forgot Scotty had money riding on this shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let the fucking society burn, dude, as long as I have my $500 at the end of the day. That's all I'm saying.
I don't blame you. That's why I don't make bets, because I would just wish the worst on everybody to get my bet. You know?
Yeah, that's how you feel.
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of capitalism, I want Trump to be impeached
Of course.
for my $500. I mean, more than the $500 though. Just being right over Scotty.
I just
yet again.
want. I just
yeah.
want to watch it happen. I just think it's going to be fun. I don't know. I don't really care. I think it's going to be destabilizing. I think a lot of people are going to lose their faith in the political process because of it.
Good.
Right.
So
Which is a plus for me.
right.
As they should.
I think it's also going to destabilize the economy.
Let's just
which
think about this-
I don't wish economic disparity on anybody, but the House of Cards has got to tumble at some point.
Right. You got to have that. You got to pull that Band-Aid off at some point, right? You know.
I mean, it's
you can't
coming
live
whether
in,
I wish it or not.
Right.
so-
You can't live in the bubble forever. The literal bubble.
I mean, you're not going to make the bubble burst yourself, Paul. You're just looking at the events.
My little old,
We
self
trace the
isn't gonna
decline
pop
of the
bubble.
economy
Yeah.
back to Paul's
A
ego.
fat neckbeard living in Louisiana caused all of
Yeah.
the economic downturn and calamity.
It were me, y'all.
So, in a letter to House Democratic leaders, so okay, we already read that. But so this is the argument I'm getting from this is we're so innocent that we're not even going to show you evidence of our innocence.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, it's
Right
more
now,
like just
No,
nah.
you guys bullshit. We
No,
ain't giving
we
you
ain't gonna
nothing.
do it.
We ain't doing shit. We ain't cooperating. You're a
Which
lie.
is, interestingly enough, exactly what Richard Nixon did when he was ordered to turn over evidence. He made some of these same arguments about the illegitimacy of the witch hunt against him and blah, 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 blah.
It turned out pretty well for him, though.
Didn't.
Yeah, I
it
mean-
didn't go well.
Oh, it didn't.
It didn't?
No,
Oh,
it,
shit.
It was not a good
I don't
thing.
know my history very well, so I thought
mean, he-
Nixon.
I thought Nixon was like,
Well,
been
he resigned. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Not in total disgrace.
yeah, he was beloved after that.
Do you think Trump would ever resign, though?
Wrong.
I think if it comes down to saving his ass from jail,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, yeah.
Trump is pig-headed and stupid and willful and all that shit, but he's got a self-preservation instinct.
Yeah, and if he has a guarantee, if it actually came down to something as crazy as like a Watergate moment where it was just like it was overwhelming and he was going to be impeached, then of course he would just go, pardon on the table,
Right.
and then of course Trump's
So,
going
yeah.
to.
So it depends. It depends on how much evidence is drummed up, and it depends on how it goes in the court.
Well, check this out, Paul. You need to know about this, huh?
What is this?
This is some InfoWars commentary on what's going on with
Oh,
this
shit.
impeachment.
Feeling right now to get angry enough, and even as much as you are obviously angry about this, I am as well. we are failing, frankly. We are only saying 1% of the level of warning, the level of red alarm that should be happening right now. We can't even express it in words because, look, there's a soft kill of humanity and there's a soft coup of Trump right now. Both of these are going to go to the hot phase. Both of these are going to go to hard kill and hard coup. This is what's crucial to understand. They're happening in parallel. They are the exact same globalists trying. They are, and they are linked. If they destroy Trump, they also succeed in destroying humanity because Trump represents the last hope for humanity to have a free nation on this planet.
Wow, really?
So,
Yeah, did you know that?
Wow.
Did you know that, guys?
I did not know
Hearing the
that.
facts now, we have to keep Trump in office. There's not even a question. I
You
mean,
thought
like,
you were just trying to impeach Trump? No, you were.
the deep state's
You're
here,
aiding
TJ.
in the destruction of humanity because you're destroying the last free civilization or whatever the fuck. How are they going to call it the last free civilization when every week they get on here and tell us about all of the evil shit our government is doing?
TJ, just want you to think about this example. I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
You've seen the Matrix trilogy, right?
Right.
This is like Trump is like the head of Zion right now, dude.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude.
That's
he's
it. The
Neo.
machines.
He's Neo being plugged into the machine, dude. He's the last hope.
I mean,
if
if-
he
if-
doesn't beat
The virus, dude.
the
yeah.
endlessly replicating Agent Smith virus, then we're done for.
I want to see him just fight an army of Pelosi.
Can I ask a question of these guys? Why is the last chance for humanity so stupid and
Hey.
ugly looking and dumb? Why couldn't it be somebody like Neo or Jesus or you know what I mean?
You know,
Why is it
the unexpected?
Why is
Paul.
it Donald Lump?
God speaks through him, Paul.
I don't know, dude.
If you understood all of the reason his thoughts come out so muttered and shit is because he's actually just thinking too fast for a
the
human
tongue
being
of
to
the
speak.
tongue of the prophets, Paul.
Right. And he's just he
He
can only give you
Why is he so
fragments.
stupid?
He can only give you fragments of the divine
Paul,
transmission
He's not stupid. You just
being
don't understand
broadcast into his brain at any time, you know?
I
You
guess
just don't
he's not-
understand the
all right.
genius
I
of
guess,
Trump.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
just
look
not
at,
on his
look at
level,
that
man.
knowledge being beamed into Trump's brain right now. As
Yeah,
he's
you
making
see
those
that?
remarks.
His hair is like a
Reflecting off of
halo
that.
of light,
loading,
dude.
loading.
That weird fucking thing he wears on his head.
understand that
And that's
all
what's so
this is
crazy
going
is
to go
he
hot.
really is for real.
Yeah.
And then people aren't going, this is wonderful. They're like, no, we don't want it.
Well, right, and humanity is going to be overrun here. Humanity is going to be absolutely destroyed if we don't turn this around. Wake
See, I
people
told
up
you,
enough.
Matrix, man.
And you know, I watch you from the control room there, Alex, and I just think you are expressing what I feel. I can't express it the way you do, but none of us are even close to the level of alarm and alert that we should be expressing right now. We should be screaming at the top of our lungs, jumping up and down. There should be 1 million people swarming Washington, D.C. peacefully and lawfully right now to demand.
Peacefully and lawfully.
Yeah, you know all
Very
this.
blah, blah,
You know
blah.
all this is happening.
Okay, wait. You know what? If you genuinely believe that the fate of humanity is at stake, fuck peacefully and lawfully. You should be calling for a fucking armed revolution against the U.S. government.
Well, that's why he muttered.
Peacefully and lawfully. No.
He's full of shit.
If you're honest, if you honestly think the future of the entire human race is at stake, then you should be calling for armed revolution right now.
He kind of is. He's dog whistling it hard here.
Peacefully and lawfully.
No, I mean, like these guys are the guys that those
He's
types
just
of people
covering his
listen
ass.
to. I mean, look at the
He's just covering
shirt he's
ass
wearing.
legally. Is all he's doing, in my opinion.
Look at the shirt he's wearing with everything all, the fucking anti-colony or
Don't
the
tread on me.
Right. It's not the "Don't tread on me" thing. It's the flag of the original. No, I can't remember what it is. It's some fucking thing.
Some Revolutionary War.
Some
relic.
Revolutionary War relic fucking thing he's wearing on his chest.
Yeah.
Of course he's dog whistling this armed revolution shit.
He's been doing it for years. I mean, look, Alex Jones has been doing this 1776 shit for years. I mean, he's just playing back.
1776.
I mean,
he's playing back to
I guess
again.
lucky for us, the problem that he has is that people that are really into this type of shit are also fat and stupid and very unlikely to do it in any organized
yeah.
way. So this is just entertainment.
Never
for those
say
folks.
never,
They
whatever
watch
you
this so that they can sit there and go, yeah, you're right. Somebody oughta. Not me, but man, somebody oughta.
Somebody. Crooked Hillary should try it. Donald Trump dares Clinton to enter crowded Democratic presidential field a third time after she claims she could beat him again.
Except she didn't.
Trump dares crooked Hillary, blah, 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 blah. So let's just go look at the fucking tweet down here because everything's a tweet now. There it is. So I think crooked Hillary Clinton should enter the race to try to steal it away from uber left Elizabeth Warren. Only one condition. The crooked one must explain all of her high crimes and misdemeanors, including how and why she deleted 33,000 emails after getting C subpoena. Don't tempt me. Do your job.
Don't tempt me, Hillary. You lost last
Don't
time.
tempt me.
And I lost $1,000 fucking bucks on your fucking goddamn reptilian ass.
Yeah, you sure did.
So don't fucking go, I beat Trump again. Then why are you in the White House?
Don't tempt me.
Dumbass.
Please don't tempt her, Donald. Please
Yeah,
stop.
please.
A lot of conservatives really, really, really want Hillary Clinton to run
yeah.
again.
They would love Hillary.
A lot of liberals do too. There's still a contingent of
house.
Hillary. Like, do you think those people suddenly don't want Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, if anything, they want her more now because they feel like they were defeated from their destiny.
Oh yeah, there's a whole contingent of the left wing that wants to see this redemption arc for Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole contingent of the right wing that wants to see the double humiliation of Hillary
Oh,
Clinton.
who wouldn't?
I want to see both. I don't know. I think they're both equally awesome.
Well, I never say never.
Yeah, because either way, there's just a huge wave of fucking butthurt that you get to revel
Oh yeah,
in.
you get to mind the butt hurt no matter what. So I'm for either one, honestly.
So you want Hillary to run again?
Hillary in the house. Yeah, get her in there.
Get her on, get her ass in
Get
there.
her- trot her old ass off in there.
It's like when they brought back Undertaker.
I mean, why the
for
fuck
the
not?
fucking 12 millionth
What's
time.
with all our sudden standards and shit? Look what we just elected. Why not? Yeah, Hillary Clinton, sure.
Get her ass back in there. Hell in the cell.
Look, could it be any worse? Who knows? Vote now.
Awesome.
Not to mention that, dude. Can we just fucking do away with these fucking paper ballots, all this other notion? Let's just have everyone call up and vote. Like, I like to do with, like, America's Got Talent and shit like that. Everyone
Why
just
not?
calls in, like, all right, no, call in 887 for, whatever, for Hillary, and they're calling this number for Trump. They can both stand on stage. Trump can be fucking talking shit. Hillary will be talking shit.
Why don't we just text who we want to win?
Yeah, they can
whatever.
text too. Whatever, I'm fine
Yeah,
with
just
texting.
text,
You can do a Twitter poll.
Yeah.
Like, let's do a Twitter
Yeah,
poll.
the official national Twitter poll to see who gets to be president.
Why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not? Let's just do it.
What does
man.
this country really have to lose at this point? Let's just fucking go all the way in.
All in. All into idiocracy. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I want President Camacho.
Trump threatens to sue Minneapolis for demanding he pay for rally security in advance.
Terrible.
Trump's campaign has stiffed at least 10 cities going back to the 2016 campaign. Minneapolis won't stand for that.
Oh, come on, man. You just know that this super left-wing mayor hates Trump and is trying to stifle his freedom of speech, not
Clearly.
keep his local taxpayers from getting stiffed with a bill and his local businesses.
President Trump's re-election campaign threatened to sue the city of Minneapolis after accusing Democratic Mayor Jacob Frey of overcharging for security costs at a rally scheduled for Thursday. Trump's campaign manager, Brad Parscale, accused Frey of overcharging the Target Center Arena $5.3 million for
That's 530,000.
Yeah, 530,000, sorry, for security and other costs associated with the rally. Though the arena attempted to pass the cost on to the Trump campaign under threat of withholding use, the campaign said in a statement. Trump's team informed the Target Center that the U.S. Secret Service is solely responsible for coordinating security. The campaign claimed that denying the use of the arena, which is owned by the city but managed by a private company, would be a breach of contract and result in court action. The campaign's law firm Jones Day claimed that such a move would pose serious First Amendment ramifications.
Okay.
So basically, the city is, I don't know if that's overcharging for security. It sounds pretty expensive.
I mean, a giant audience of fucking
Sounds
20,000
political
people,
people,
and it's
yeah.
Seems normal.
and the most fucking powerful politician in the world is going to be in the room. Yeah, you're going to want to double down on security for that, I'd imagine.
Right. And I mean, he has his own security detail as well.
I mean, are they saying that there's going to be no yellow shirt security at this fucking event? So the Secret Service is going to be cleaning up the puke outside of the fucking porta
Right.
potties and shit
No way.
and herding
So-
the crowds away from that? Like, what
So apparently Trump is already, I think he owes like $9 million to Washington, D.C. at this point, for a 2016 event.
Wrong.
he owes apparently 9 other cities for previous events. So this city is trying to get the money
No,
up
I've
front.
always paid all my bills. All the
Oh,
bills
really?
are paid. Always on time. Look, I love bills. I pay them.
Here's the part where it talks about that. A Center for Public Integrity investigation found earlier this year there are at least 10 invoices for the Trump campaign from cities like Green Bay, Wisconsin, Erie, Pennsylvania, Mesa, Arizona, totaling 841,219 remaining outstanding, 5 of which date back to the events of the 2016 campaign. So, like, 5 events he hasn't settled his bill for there, and 5 events since then he hasn't settled his bill for. Owing nearly $1 million for these campaign events that he still hasn't paid. And, you know,
Wrong.
his campaign is...
Look, TJ, Trump has
Their
paid all his bills.
coffers are loaded up
Wait a
right
minute.
now.
Does this mean that we can demand to just do a giant rally somewhere and have the city pick up the tab? Otherwise, they're infringing our fucking First Amendment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Privileges?
that would be the implication I'd get out of it.
Cool.
So yeah, we're
Go Trump.
holding a rally at the New Orleans Superdome.
Yeah, at the expense of the fine city of New Orleans,
Yep.
of course.
Yeah,
They'll be providing all of the food because we can't afford to do that.
Yeah,
So they'll be doing all the concessions and all of the security
all of it.
detail.
Yeah, everything.
And all of the advertising, too, because we can't afford to do
And
that
if they
either.
tell us that they can't do it, our First Amendment rights have been
then we're
going to
be suing the city
Yeah.
because they are violating and infringing on
not
our
only
First
the city,
Amendment
the
rights.
state, TJ, the state as well.
The state, we'll sue the whole fucking country.
Like, isn't this embarrassing to Trump supporters that he's, like, skirting out on bills?
Yeah, I mean,
He's not
here's
gonna
the thing.
security
Here's the thing
bills.
that's so weird, and I do believe there is a $9 million debt to Washington D.C. I think I read that somewhere. Obviously, it wasn't
Is
included in
that
that
for
total
his
below.
That's some fake
his
news.
inauguration shit?
I don't think he has to pay for that himself.
he doesn't
I'm
pay
not
for
sure.
that.
I know that his campaign owes some kind of money to the city. Maybe I'm overestimating the amount or something like that.
It doesn't have a massive amount of money.
But yeah,
as well.
he just,
raised.
I mean, just off of this back of this impeachment shit, he just raised like 50 million or some crazy
Yeah, I mean,
number.
He could pay this money, fucking no problem.
So I mean, like, it'd be nothing for his campaign to settle these fucking debts. So why doesn't he just fucking do it?
This is Trump, dude. Trump never pays. He has a history of fucking stiffing people. He's gonna keep doing it. It's
Trump
like-
never pays. It's not even him though. It's his campaign.
But you know that's Trump going like, "Sir, you want us to pay this bill?" No.
You think all that campaign money is going in his pocket one of these days?
If it's not going to his pocket, it's going to aggrandize him. It's not going to be spent on security costs. You know, look, that's a local thing. Those are the local police officers. The Secret Service, we paid for that. We already paid. Dude, Trump did it to fucking all his contractors. Trump did that when he was building his casinos. He's done it when he's fucking built these fucking resorts and shit. He's always fucked people over. Why is he going to change? Like, why? Like, here's the thing: if you can get away with not paying the full price, most people are going to do it. And Trump's that kind of guy. So Minneapolis might say, "Hey, you're going to pay in advance because they're wise to Trump's bullshit." Of course, you're going to go. We're going to sue you. We're going to do all this other shit. And you know what? The fucking funny thing is, he's probably going to get away with this shit too.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
You think so, Scotty?
Yeah, he's gonna get away with it. Why wouldn't he? He's gotten away with it his whole fucking life. You think today is the day? Oh, Trump.
Yep. I think today is
They'll
the day.
find they'll find some way to fucking force the city of Minneapolis to do this shit.
So it is the inauguration.
Impeach.
So feds owe the district $7.3 million for 2017
Right.
presidential inauguration and
Okay.
$1.7 million for 4th of July festivities.
Okay, so it's 2 different events that he
Two
owes.
different events that he owes for grand total is somewhere around $9 million.
Right, that's what I was talking about.
Damn.
That he owes just to the District of Columbia. For
Someone should go
his
around and
rallies.
figure out all of Trump's various debts, or at
Uh,
least as many as you possibly can.
We need his tax returns for a
Yeah.
lot of that.
So we got a slew of there's like a big surge. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, of anti-Chinese sentiment
Oh yeah, definitely.
floating around. And so I've just pulled a bunch of anti-China stories that I've seen. This one's pretty big. Blizzard pulls Blitzchung from Hearthstone esports tournament over support for Hong Kong protests.
So Hearthstone is a giant Blizzard game, like a trading card game. It's huge in the streaming community. There are huge, big, multi-million-dollar competitions for the best in the world at it. And one of the better players, or one of the top players of the game, made some statement aligning himself with Hong Kong.
Right. Well, he said that I think I have the video of it here. I don't know if we can take a little quick look.
你就讲完那8个字，然后导播我们就结
Obviously
束，
not in
我们就什么也都
English,
不要聊了。 然后你随时可以开始，头先低下来。
So
光
basically,
复香港时代革命。
导播可以切回来。
好，导播，谢谢。
谢谢谢谢。
so basically, these guys are trying to hide under the table because he just made some statements.
Yeah, they don't even
before.
want to be on the camera.
They're like, oh no.
So basically, he calls for liberation of his country in post-game interview. He comes on and basically says, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age."
So
And,
the reason why this is so controversial to Blizzard is because a huge chunk of their money, they own World of Warcraft, they own Diablo, they own StarCraft, they own Hearthstone, in addition to a number of other properties, fucking Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, a ton of major.
Just
game properties.
absolutely major esports type of games, and the esports scene in China is huge, and thus, because of that, people in China play these games at a rate that's even higher than they're played and adopted here in the United States. If they're popular here, they're even more so popular in China. And so this is a straight up cynical economic move to avoid offending their Chinese population in favor of censoring one of the better players of their game.
Right, and basically, Blitzchung has been removed from the tournament by Blizzard.
He's had his
He's been
tournament
ruled-
winnings
yeah.
revoked.
Yeah, he's had his winnings revoked, and he's banned for 12 months from competing.
So they basically taken back this dude's money that he won straight up according to their rules because of a political statement that he made.
Right.
Ridiculous.
So
totally
here's
ridiculous.
what they say. While we stand by one's right to express individual
No, you
thoughts
don't.
and opinions.
No,
I
you-
always say that.
No, you don't. No, you fucking
don't.
While we stand by one's rights to express individual
Fuck
thoughts and
you.
opinions, we're going to reach into somebody who did just that's pocket and take all their money from them.
So players and other participants that elect to participate in esports competitions must abide by the official competition rules, which I guess one of them is don't talk shit on China, don't have a
Yeah.
controversial political opinion of any kind.
Who knows?
Fuck that, dude.
Blizzard is part owned by Chinese company Tencent. As of 2017, the company owned 4.9% of shares in Activision Blizzard. It also has stakes in video game companies like Ubisoft, Epic, and Riot Games, among others. The Hong Kong protests, initially focused on a now suspended bill that would have allowed people arrested in Hong Kong to be transferred to and tried in mainland China, have been ongoing since March 2019 and are now more focused on general democratic rights. Blitzchung was removed for showing his support for these protests by wearing a mask. Yeah, we already heard about that. So basically, Hong Kong for the longest time was a territory of what, Britain?
Yes.
Yes.
And
right.
And so they lived sort of that Western lifestyle there.
Not a totally Western lifestyle,
But it was a hodgepodge.
But more
kinda.
so.
right, far more Western than
Right.
China.
And so now that China once again has Hong Kong in its possession, they're trying to crack down on those sort of democratic values that have fermented there. And obviously there's a huge cultural clash going on. And China's a very authoritarian country comparatively to the United States, at least in terms of how it deals with its own population.
And so people that up until recent history had been enjoying a much more liberal, westernized lifestyle are now being reintroduced to their mother country in the eyes of some, and the kind of more authoritarian boot that comes along with that. And that's at the heart of these protests.
Right. And this has become kind of a bigger conversation about Chinese influence over American companies and American media. South Park recently
South Park,
did a very popular episode that people have been talking about and shit.
Well, how Hollywood is so cozied up to the Chinese censors.
especially pointing to Disney, but pointing to all the major Hollywood studios and just talking about how, our art and entertainment is now, filtered through the grist of a Chinese fucking censorship board, and we're doing things to pander to that market. Now, it makes sense from a business standpoint, but obviously it rubs a lot of Americans the wrong way.
It rubs, well, of course, but that just kind of underlines for me the real dividing line between these giant corporations and the customers that they serve. I don't think that most of the people that play Blizzard games would side either way in the Hong Kong protests, and the fact that one dude did probably wouldn't damage their bottom line anywhere.
Right. Well, China has proven itself to be very sensitive about these sorts of remarks, and is kind of a fucking example of that. Nearly all of the NBA's Chinese partners have cut ties with the league, and they did it over a tweet.
What was the
Of
tweet?
course.
Nearly all of the National Basketball Association's Chinese partners have publicly announced they are ending or suspending their relationship with the league. Out of the 25 official partners listed on the NBA China website, 13 are Chinese businesses. So far, 11 of those companies have distanced themselves from the league amid escalating tensions between China and the NBA. Ctrip.com, Antisports. Okay, yeah, that's all the names of the companies. The two remaining Chinese partners are joint venture brands that have not issued any statement yet. Earlier this week, Chinese tech giant Tencent, which is we just heard about them a moment ago, Luckin Coffee and Vivo announced the suspension of their relationship with the NBA. As the country with the largest population in the world and the second largest economy, China is one of the NBA's most important markets. That relationship began eroding over the weekend after Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey tweeted in support of the anti-government protests in Hong Kong. The tweet was quickly deleted and Morey apologized, but his comments drew backlash in China. So because one manager of one team tweeted a tweet in support of Hong Kong and then immediately withdrew it and apologized for it, that was enough to sever these business relationships.
Now I'd have an opinion.
So obviously China is ultra sensitive about this shit.
Well, they have every reason to be. The like video and stuff that's coming out of these protests is increasingly damning. They have every reason to want to control PR around this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that the scary thing about these stories is we're getting a peek at just how much influence Chinese corporations have over freedom of speech that is
Right.
at least in the sphere of the United States.
Right. I mean, well, you know, when the Chinese market is this big and tantalizing, yet this volatile and authoritarian, you know, companies they kind of hold a lot of these American companies hostage. You know, it's
Well,
like
it shows you where these companies stand.
we want
Because
that money. We want that money.
last
So
one
we're
of-
willing to do anything we can to keep that fucking money. So what
Exactly.
do you need us to say? What do you need us to do?
What should we do? How should we react? You want him fired? You want us to take his money back? Done.
Anything you want,
And-
China.
and of
Anything
course,
you want.
The last paragraph is just the fucking double speak of everything. The NBA's commissioner, Adam Silver, apologized Tuesday for the offending the league's Chinese fans, but he stood by Morey's right to express his opinion, saying the NBA would protect its employees' freedom of speech, except he deleted it immediately.
Right. Of course.
You know, you don't. No. The Chinese side of this won. It won out, and it's just like with Blizzard, it won out because money talks and bullshit walks.
I thought it was bullshit talks and money walks.
Well, that's
There it
only for
goes.
Steve.
Sixers fans supporting Hong Kong ejected from preseason game amid NBA China controversy.
We support freedom of speech yet again.
Court in
Side
South
on the side of the
Philadelphia. The
Chinese.
Sixers took on a team from China in an exhibition game. Fans in the stands took sides now that China and the NBA are in a standoff over a Houston Rockets executive's tweet that showed support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. This is new video showing a Sixers fan saying he was being escorted out of the game. Sam Wachs and his wife held signs supporting the Hong Kong protesters, which were then confiscated. Wachs admitted he then stood up and started yelling, "Free Hong Kong."
I think it's kind of shameful and
It's kind of lame how we now censor pro-democracy sentiments. in
Yeah,
this
these
country,
crazy
but, you know.
pro-democracy people. Oh, get out of here.
I mean, I don't know if the basketball game is necessarily the political forum to make that point, but I don't see how those signs were hurting anybody.
They weren't.
So
They weren't. Nor were they disrupting the game in any way. What was disruptive was the forcible removal of them from the fucking arena for
absolutely.
carrying a sign.
For offending a bunch of Chinese whiners.
More anti-China sentiments. Apple bows to China by censoring Taiwan flag emoji.
Great.
Well, where do they build all the iPhones?
In a recent update to iOS 13.1, Apple's iPhone operating system, Apple reportedly removed the Taiwanese flag emoji from its keyboard for users in Hong Kong, Macau,
Yeah, Macau.
China's 2 special administrative regions. Apple makes no mention of the change in its release notes for iOS 13.1.1. The company did not immediately reply to Quartz's inquiry about whether the Chinese government requested censorship of the
They did.
Taiwanese flag.
Spoiler, they did.
Taiwan is an independently run democracy, but China considers it part of its territory. However, again, against the backdrop of Hong Kong's pro-democracy protests, the move exemplifies continued corporate subservience to the Chinese government. Apple has blocked the Taiwanese flag emoji in mainland China since 2017. For a time, the code for mainland censorship caused some iPhones to crash whenever the device tried to display the Taiwanese flag, bug which Apple fixed in 2018. So yeah, yet another example of
An American
company
sucking the dick
Yep.
of an authoritarian dictatorship.
China. What else you need to do, China? We have to remember, only all the airlines removed was it Taiwan? Is there a location you could fly to? Because the Chinese said, nope, Taiwan is not a country. It's just China. Sorry.
just part of China.
Oh,
Sorry.
and remember Google left China because, we don't want to build a censorship search engine. Guess they're already back.
Well, of course they are.
I mean, it's bullshit. All these American companies are bowing to China as hard as possible. They're fucking gonna do anything they can to supplicate
Because China's
and get greater access to the market. But there's so
China's
many
kicking
people.
our ass in certain areas of the fucking tech sector.
Inside China's re-education camps where women are raped and sterilized.
Cool. Good old China. Doing the Lord's work out there in them re-education camps.
Muslim women in Chinese redneck voice, Paul. Muslim women in Chinese prison camps are being subjected to systematic rape, sterilization, and forced abortions.
I mean, normally that
survivors
would
have
be
claimed.
bad. Normally that'd be bad, but they are Muslims.
Muslims.
So I mean, how bad could it honestly be?
Escapees who have taken refuge abroad are now sharing their stories of life inside the Xinjiang, I don't know, detention centers in which the UN says more than 1 million ethnic Uyghurs are being held. China describes them as training centers to help deter extremists.
On-the-job training.
But former prisoners say they are being used to curb the country's Muslim population. Student Riku Perhat probably spent 4 years in prison after the 2009 Urumqi riots triggered her arrest in Xinjiang.
You know what it smells like in here, guys?
What's it smell like?
World War III.
Does it?
Can you smell it? Can you smell the embers of the fire that will be World War III burning in all these stories yet? Chinese influence over American freedom of speech, ever escalating civil rights violations and human rights violations, ever more flagrantly being committed by an ever more powerful foe. Oh, it's starting to smell like World War III in here, gentlemen. Especially, maybe that's why Trump is pulling out of the Middle East.
He's like, we need to fucking...
He's like, yeah, we got to get these soldiers back home so we can prepare to send them to China
Yeah.
for the World War III thing that we've got planned.
Sweet.
I mean, this seems like,
China, world at war, Call of Duty.
I don't know, man.
Whose side's Russia going to be on?
Who do you think?
They going to be on China's side?
Oh, yeah, they're not still salty about the drubbing we gave them. They're going to come over and suck our dick? Hell no. They're not going to... Dude, let me tell you something about Russia. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. But the Russia in my mind, dude, never, ever is going to be subservient to the United States in any kind of way. They're never going to join us as direct fucking allies ever again.
Dude, Russia should, if the U.S. and China went to war, Russia would just be better off going, like, we're neutral, waiting for us to fucking beat the shit out of each other.
I got to be honest with you.
And conquering both of us, dude.
Russia would probably be better off joining China and accepting the subservient status to that greater nation than aligning themselves with us at this point.
I don't know if Russia would accept anyone besides, I don't know, I mean, maybe, but it seems very unlikely. I mean, like, would they ally with China? Sure, but I don't know if they would
They're
say.
neighbors, dude.
Well, they are neighbors, but that's even
Makes
less.
sense. Strategic alliance, man.
I mean, it would, but at the same time, like, I think it'd be very difficult to occupy the U.S. I don't think that would be the goal. I think the goal would be economic dominance. I think that's what China's already done. China would be very wary to go to war with any other nation unless they had no choice. They're just not a very warlike country. They like to dominate in other ways. I mean, I guess it could happen, and I mean, I think if they thought they had the total upper hand, then they definitely would. But I don't know. China's got a lot of problems too. Like, I don't think you're being entirely accurate with China. I mean, China, yeah, their tech industry and stuff has done well, but China also has a lot of problem with, they just steal a lot of their shit. Now, maybe they can develop that into something. They also have a demographic problem. They also have a lot of debt. A lot of their industries are just paper tigers,
I mean,
literally.
So do we, and so are ours.
Yeah, but I would argue that, I mean, like, what? There's one thing the U.S. is good at. Like, we've been on the scene longer with that kind of shit.
Of course.
You know, so I might say, I don't think it would just be, but if China, I would say honestly this: if Russia did side with China, then the U.S. pretty much would be fucked.
I mean, what happens if we start seeing a staunch military buildup in China?
We're already seeing that now.
Right, we're seeing it now. So, how long is it going to take this kind of a society that has proven to be so efficient at rebuilding itself to raise a fucking army that's going to give us hell?
I wouldn't think very long. I mean, but it really depends.
They certainly got the numbers.
I mean, the numbers game is already won. What they need is the jets and the aircraft carriers and the nuclear weapons.
What I would say that the U.S. should honestly, what we should be doing more than anything is looking at sophisticated cyber attacks and to create technologies that are so far ahead of theirs that even if they did do something like that, that we would have just a total advantage.
You want to know where they've got a step ahead of us at?
Well, AI.
Well, what you just talked about, too. The idea of like cyber warfare. The Chinese have been openly and
oh yeah, well, so have the Russians
with
so
impunity
have we.
prosecuting this cyber war shit. So I don't know, man.
China, I don't know. China is going to be a tough foe for anyone to deal with, just for the fact that
I mean, because how do you secure the surrender of a country that large? Either way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, either way, our country
You know what I mean?
theirs.
So where does a war between those two powers end, other than the utter destruction of one of them? You know what
I mean, even if you're anything you're talking about, like for the U.S. and China, let's say it was World War III, China's going to basically be destroyed too, unless they come up with some technology that's so far advanced that no missiles or nothing can touch them. Which I don't think that it would at this point exist.
So you clearly haven't heard about the mind control rate.
But Russia has some crazy ass missiles that could hit the U.S. now.
Russia's got some crazy dude. There's some. What about that fucking weird device they put in that building in Cuba that made everybody puke? You remember that story that just went away?
They do some crazy ass shit.
What? I've never heard of that.
Dude,
Russians
hold on.
are sloppy.
Hold on, I want to know about this.
So in the Cuban embassy, a bunch of people started getting really sick, puking, dizzy, passing
and
out.
no one knew what caused it.
Nobody knew what caused it. And then when they fucking finally swept the place properly, they found some fucking sonic device that had been implanted by an opposing government in the embassy
Not surprising
to
at all.
disrupt the fucking
operations
of the human body, but subtly, so that nobody knew where it was coming from.
Whoa.
That story was in the straight up news
Yeah,
like
I remember
a
it.
year and a half or 2 years ago and just disappeared.
Wow. That's
So-
crazy.
We're talking about like the next world war is not going to be like anything that we've seen.
No, I agree with you there.
We have the benefit of the last few wars that we've been to of utterly superior firepower against the foe, so that we can do it conventionally, like people are used to seeing war being prosecuted. Dude, the next one of these giant conflicts is going to have some crazy shit involved in it. Crazy subversion of the psychological well-being of people through chemical or sonic means.
I think ultimately
These laser fucking weapons that heat people up, that raise your body temperature
I think
fucking
ultimately
100%.
a victory for either one of these societies would be just economic dominance, like basically becoming like a state that is like, yeah, you still exist, but it's basically to serve the needs of this state. Like China needs a lot of agricultural crops grown. You know what I mean?
then-
Well, it sounds like China's already made huge inroads into that.
Sounds like China's winning, if that's the war.
Because
That's the
That's what makes
battlefield.
that makes the most sense, because think
Right,
about
so
that.
what-
Then you don't have to even fucking. You don't
so
have to,
China just buys more and more of our country until eventually they own the business interests that control this country.
Yeah, and then they
Right.
just
I
fucking.
mean, we
pull
already
the
know.
strings.
I mean, like we already know that our government is beholden to corporate America, and now we're seeing that corporate America is beholden to China. So what does that mean? You know what I mean?
I don't even think they have to own like a lion's share. Like, look at
No,
Just enough to get
Right.
their way.
10%.
Yeah, just enough that if they pull it, you're fucked.
Right.
Exactly.
They don't need to own it all. All
So-
they need to do is own enough to control you with.
Just get control of enough American companies at the 10 or 5% range, enough to where it would just be devastating to the books. Yeah.
And then you got them by the fucking by the balls.
And look, and the rich people that run all these corporations, they don't give a shit. They just all want to be rich and live at fucking palatial mansions and live these amazing lifestyles. As long as they get to keep doing that, they don't give a fuck if 1 million people are held in a concentration camp. What do they care? They're living on a fucking $100 million yacht. And as long as the rich fucks, the rich Chinese fucks, and rich American fucks, the rich European fucks of the world keep being rich fucks, they don't care what happens.
This conflict that we're describing, whatever form it takes, is kind of dependent on an anti-corporate worldview, because every corporate, like for corporations, this is not a conflict. They're more than happy to kowtow for the bottom line.
They love it because
they love these Chinese investors flush with money coming in and just scooping up chunks of their fucking. They love it. It all makes them more money.
Look how much real estate Chinese people have bought. Look how much money U.S. corporations have invested in China. Like KFC is a huge company. Pizza's a huge company in China.
So we're sitting here describing this economic disaster that's looming, where we're allowing a company to gain economic leverage over us that doesn't even begin to mimic our national values. But that's all a good thing to the corporate class, which is, in my opinion, the strongest political arm of America.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
No doubt.
Of
all
world.
of those motherfuckers are doing cartwheels for this shit. They're more than happy to do this shit.
Dude, of the fucking world. Because in China, if you're a rich CEO of one of these companies, you basically have 2 sets of rules. You can go fucking run someone over and then send someone, other fucking little poor serf to go, well, Paul, yeah, he did run over that person in China. Normally you would have 5 years in prison, but you've hired your, proxy to go and be in prison for you.
We have the same thing here.
I mean, yeah, we do.
These fucking little rich kids get to skate on shit that would land a normal person in fucking
affluenza.
jail forever.
Yeah.
Or these fucking white-collar criminals are able to tie up in the legal process things to the point where they're never prosecuted for things.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to look at the strongest class, it is the corporate ruling class, and it's gone global. It's gone global. It's like people argue about globalism so much with you, like, oh, globalism, like they've already gone global. They already know the fucking future is selling it to as many people as possible. It's like, do they really want to be stuck in just one little fucking country? Fuck no. They want to sell it to as many people as possible.
That's why I say we lose. That's why I say in this fucking conflict, unless we fundamentally change the way we do things in this country and provide a strong counterexample, we just lose to basic attrition. The people that are in power take their fucking cues from corporate America, who wants nothing more than to continue to allow China to further invade our economy and gain more and more control over our key industries. How do you fight that?
Chinese citizens will be required to scan their faces to use the internet.
Wonderful.
I mean, I've heard about other parts of this too, like scanning your face to buy things.
Right.
It talks about here the Chinese social credit system. You can read the article, TJ.
The Chinese government continues its Orwellian practices with the announcement that citizens will have to use facial recognition technology to access the internet, which is already highly firewalled. This is all part of China's social credit system that will take effect on December 1st. After the law is in effect, Chinese citizens who want to have the internet installed at their house or on their smartphones will be required to undergo a facial recognition process by Chinese authority to prove their identities, according to the new regulation.
Dude, the people in fucking run China really hate trolls, man. They want to know your fucking face. If you go fucking say some shit, they want to know exactly who the fuck said it.
Yeah. I keep seeing this picture on Twitter. People keep reposting it or whatever the fuck. Retweeting it.
This VIP thing, that'll totally happen. It'll be like, pleb, 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 rich person.
Although I've been seeing this picture of these projectors that people are wearing.
Oh, yeah, you've seen that. I've seen that, too.
I don't know if they're wearing them yet, but some companies develop these facial scrambling projectors that stymie facial recognition technology.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all.
You seen it, Scotty?
I haven't seen those,
pretty crazy.
but like, there's different patterns.
Here, I'll pull one up.
There's different patterns people can use to put on their faces and stuff. But if you're walking through a lot of places now, like, yeah, there's more and more the ability to identify who you are just based on this technology.
Right.
Like, you're this person. And like you said, like, and this just makes sense to a country, especially a country like China. Like, if you can have a system and you already determine in that with an algorithm what that person's value is to that society, it's like, oh, you want to enter this way? Well, because you're a VIP person, high social credit, you
Check
go
it out.
fast.
It like projects like other faces onto your face and shit to like hide your features.
And if you guys remember too, they had a Black Mirror episode about social credit where like you had different things and it
Yeah,
was
I do
based on
remember.
your rating on society. It's
Yeah, and people voted on you and shit.
it was weighted to, if like it was like a person that had to be nice to you almost, like their vote didn't count as much, and if a person was a higher status member of society, they obviously their vote cast for you was more favorable.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not surprising that this would have come out.
You gonna get one? I want one. I want a face scrambler.
Paul's
man.
getting one.
I'm getting one of those.
Oh yeah.
You guys will never see my real face again.
Just a more
I'm
advanced
going
version of your
full
beard.
digital face, Paul.
So let's go ahead and start. Let's shit talk our own country again for a little while. For the first time ever, U.S.
I mean,
billionaires.
we kind of just were.
Yeah. For the first time ever, U.S. billionaires pay lower tax rate than workers.
Oh.
A new book-length study on the tax burden of the ultra-rich begins with a startling finding. In 2018, for the first time in history, America's richest billionaires paid a lower effective tax rate than the working class. The Triumph of Injustice by economists Emmanuel Saez and Gabriel Zuckman of the University of California at Berkeley presents a first-of-its-kind analysis of Americans' effective tax rates since the 1960s. It finds that in 2018, the average effective tax rate paid by the richest 400 families in the country was 23%, a full percentage point lower than the 24.2% rate paid by the bottom half of American households.
God bless this wonderful country. Look at this, guys. A billionaire now pays less. Oh, this is what this country was founded on. The rich avoid paying taxes, and the normal schlubs, they pay the most.
Yeah, and when the rich get too crazy with their gambling, the normal schlub just bails them out. Gives them $1 trillion to fix their stupid mistakes so they can make it all over
Whoops.
again.
I can't wait. I can't wait to bail Wall Street out again.
Oh
man, It's
man,
gonna be
wasn't it
so
great
awesome.
the last time?
I can't wait to go through like 10 years of economic hardship so that we can bail Wall Street out one more time.
Let's look at this. In 1980, by contrast, the 400 richest had an effective tax rate of 47%. In 1960, their tax rate was as high as 56%. The effective tax rate paid by the bottom 50%, by contrast, has changed little over time. So basically, the bottom fucking 50% going blah, 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 pretty much a flat line, and these rich fucks have just gone lower and lower and lower. To now, it's like they pay even less than these fucking than poor people.
That's awesome.
It's wonderful.
Gotta protect the billionaires, though. Gotta
And
protect them.
I also love when giant corporations that made billions and billions of dollars in profit pay nothing. That's my favorite, personally.
Well, of course. I mean,
I like when
because
they don't have to pay anything.
TJ, look, they're investing in our society. They're investing.
Right.
They're the job creators, TJ. They're fucking making all the money. They're
Amazon.
creating all the stuff. Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos needs that $115 billion, TJ. If he doesn't have it, I mean, what, you're going to have it? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's gross.
That's disgusting. What are
He
you gonna do
won
with
the
it?
game. He won the capitalist game, so he deserves to
Yeah.
have a better quality of
To the
existence than
victor
everybody else.
Goes
'cause-
the spoils, TJ.
Yeah.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, TJ.
And he won, and everybody else in America lost.
Yeah.
Unless we decide to change the rules of the fucking game.
Yeah, changing the rules is not fair to these billionaires. I mean, these poor fucking... Look, TJ, is Jeff Bezos not going to fucking be able to fund some space project now because you want to tax him? That's disgusting. You're a
Gross.
fucking disgusting person.
I am
At this point,
truly,
though-
I am an enemy of progress. It's true.
Can I ask you guys a question, though? Seriously.
Yeah, ask me a question.
At this point, do you realize the seriousness of what you're talking about, though? Like, in terms of what it would take, you're not just talking about taking back a system or fixing a couple of little leaks in a system. You're talking about completely and utterly changing the way that business and government is done in this country.
I don't see what choice we have.
But do you understand the upheaval that comes with
A
that?
massive upheaval.
I mean, this
One of
country
our-
was fucking founded on massive upheaval.
One of our
and
biggest
it's gone
industry-
through several since.
One of the biggest industries in the U.S. is the medical industry.
I don't think upheaval is anything new for America.
And if you had Medicare for all tomorrow, like you had that would be a fucking... I mean, how many jobs... maybe fucking millions of jobs lost overnight.
right.
I mean, because if you eliminate, like, there's like 900, I think Bernie Sanders tweeted this out, like $939 billion a year in medical fucking waste. I mean, you're talking about almost $1 trillion right there. That's money that's just being wasted on bullshit. And if you take a lot of that out of the system suddenly, that's a lot of fucking people's livelihoods going poof.
Right.
And that's one thing.
That's right. That's one industry.
Right.
That's one type of industry. I mean, I've talked at length about the amount of waste that I saw just in the school district that I worked in, extrapolating that out to the tens of thousands of school districts across this country.
Hundreds of billions of dollars every year.
Hundreds of billions of dollars every year being squandered. So
it would be.
We're talking about a complete and like honestly, do you guys think that at this point the way that we do things can be retooled enough to where it's not this lopsided, or do you think that we need to change the whole game we're playing?
Yeah,
because the game was designed in a lot of ways, especially over the last fucking 60, 70 years, by the very people that we're trying to oust to support them.
No, I mean
we're talking about a gutting.
You're basically arguing
the introduction of like the level of technology that we have now, and the impending AI technology and the automation stuff, and I mean all the stuff that's like we're going to be forced just by innovation to radically transform society.
Well, who's talking about that?
No one.
Almost no one.
Andrew Yang is talking about it to some extent.
You're talking about
Not
like
really.
the wheel is broken, it's stuck in the fucking mud, or we just need to break the wheel off and come up with something else. And I mean, at this point, if you're looking like 50 to 100 years in the future, it's going to have to radically change. There's no fucking question. I mean, it's going to for sure, but if it's going to get better for the average person instead of getting worse, then this is going to radically have to fucking be reformed and changed. And I mean, like, we've already talked about automation. When all these jobs go bye-bye, what happens?
Am I wrong in thinking that the root of this problem is like the capitalistic impulse? It's this idea that money is status. No matter how you slice it, if you've got more of it, you're better off.
Yeah.
Isn't that the fundamental ill that has to be fucking addressed here?
Yeah, I mean,
because honestly,
I read something about
in
how
capitalism, for you to gain, someone else has to lose.
Right. Well, it's like a game of Monopoly, right? Which I guess there's a study out there that shows that in Monopoly games, typically one player ends up with 80% of the money.
Right.
So, I mean, it does seem like there's going to be inherent inequality built into a system that's driven by the profit motive.
It just seems logical to me.
It is.
So how do we fix that? What does that look like at the end? That's the question that I get asked a lot, because I don't advocate for the current system continuing in its current form.
Right.
But I don't know the answer. I don't know how do we pick up the pieces of this system that is literally so broken it should be evident to every human being on the planet.
I don't know what the end game is, but I think that the next move in the game for the people, if they want to actually try to get something done, is you're going to have to fucking get the taxes high on these motherfuckers. You're going to have to invest in a social safety net. That's like the bare minimum framework of the work that needs to be done.
Doesn't
going
that
into
just
the future.
kick the can down the road in a system like this? Look how we've looted Social Security.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
This great social program that ensured that you didn't have to die alone in a crusty old house, that you had a little bit of income to carry you into your twilight
the
years.
problem is that in any sort of system like this, like, there's always a fucking enemy that has a different agenda, Well, so we're never gonna, as long as there's another team that's fighting against you, you're never gonna have a perfect fucking solution. And even if we did have a homogeneity of purpose, there would still be.
The other team is stacked inherently. Whoever's willing to go the furthest for the dollar gets the power.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to exist no matter what we change. So we could pass Medicaid for all tomorrow, or Medicare for all tomorrow, and then watch it be looted progressively over the next 40, 50 years to the point where it's a laughable joke, and we're right back where we started, and then we pass another one.
Yeah.
That seems to be the cycle when it comes to these kinds of social programs. Food stamp programs are passed and then slowly but surely borrowed against and gutted in favor of deregulation until they're just a laughable joke.
Well, yeah, look who writes the laws. If the corporations write the laws, like, they don't give a fuck.
Isn't, in effect, us going like, we got to work within the system and pass some of these laws against some of these billionaires, just seeding this long war of every 30 years they come back to loot what we've gained?
Yeah, I don't know how you get out of that, though.
Yeah, I don't know how you break the wheel either.
Well, if we don't have the answer to that, then we're all just fiddling on the deck of the Titanic here doing this voting shit. Because, honestly, dude, it's a game of kick the fucking can. Unless we deal with the fucking... And it seems so obvious to me what the problem is.
Yeah, but here's my thing to you. Okay, let's say you say, okay, there's no fiat currency tomorrow. There's nothing. It's everyone just working for, a common purpose or whatever. Like, how do you motivate those people to do that?
Fuck me, I don't know.
That's the only reason why, it's like, look, of all the systems we have, the system does suck. But the one thing it's really good at is motivating people to do shit. And that's the only reason why it exists, because people, if they know they're going to make money, I don't know why it is. I don't know how that fucking works. Adam Smith called it the invisible hand. It's just something that pushes you out there to do shit. And, like, I get what you're saying. It's like, look, if we're going to constantly be in the same space and the rules are written by these people, how does that ever fucking change? And you're right. But I don't know. I mean, do we have to get to a point with technology where just money becomes obsolete? Because, like, you can have everything you want, so there's no want. Then,
I mean, look,
but doesn't that lead to overconsumption? I don't know.
All I know is that the first stage of ever having a chance to get out of this is unstacking the deck enough that the people actually have the power to make any sort of transformative change in the first place.
I mean, maybe you're right.
But I think that we've gotten to that point before. I think we're at that point under FDR, but the Republican fucking, conservative sort of mindset, pro-business mindset obviously reasserted fucking dominance. So
I just think
how do you prevent that from happening again? I don't know.
You don't.
You can't prevent. You
don't.
can't prevent ideas from coming about.
You can't prevent the guy that's willing to cut the lowest getting the biggest dollar reward from ending where we are now. You know what I mean? You can't prevent that cycle unless you address that fucking impulse. Unless you address the idea that a person should have to trade a profound percentage of their life in drudge work just for enough of this ethereal idea to get by on.
To get ahead.
So that a very few elite can hoard this idea to the exclusion of everybody else. I just don't understand. If you don't address that, you don't address the problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you have a giant parasite hanging off of you, it doesn't matter how much. Like, give them another blood transfusion.
Right.
If it's still sucking the blood out, what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to get all of it. No, I understand, Tyler, where you're coming from. It's just like, I don't. If someone had that answer, and this has been recognized, going back to fucking Karl Marx, going to the Communist Manifesto, looking at saying, like, look, the worker's busting his ass and he gets nothing at the end of the day, and the factory owner gets richer.
We're rapidly approaching the point in history
where you don't even.
We're on the cusp of we don't need workers.
Yeah, you don't even need the factory worker anymore.
Not as they're envisioned by Marx. Not as these fucking glorious laborers that trade the sweat of their brow. We're talking about like the ability to replace that drudgery with automated processes.
Yeah.
So the worker doesn't exist anymore. That sounds like a capitalistic nightmare gone wrong. So now they don't need us at all, other than as consumption.
Yeah, so why do you think the idea of everybody getting automatic money every month has come into the fucking equation?
I mean,
I think it's a recognition of at some point.
It's like, hey,
we know these jobs are going to be gone.
We're gonna fucking just keep you running on the hamster wheel. Here's some baseline money.
Yeah. Here you go.
This is going to be the life support system for our capitalist enterprise, so we can keep a consumer culture going until we figure out how to just cut you out entirely.
And I mean, look, if you look at it, there's so many
poison
things.
your fucking Cheerios or whatever.
There's so many things in this fucking country, dude. It's like the average amount of a new car loan. More and more cars are unaffordable to most people. Housing is unaffordable to most people, and it's just all these metrics. If you look at our society, it's like nope. It's getting worse and worse for the average person.
All right, we got to move on. This Utah woman was charged for being topless in her own home. Now she's arguing the lewdness law is unconstitutional.
Sounds like she's definitely.
I don't
right.
think she should be charged with letting them fucking titties fly out in public either.
I mean, she's a soulless ginger, but come on.
It started off as an impromptu teaching moment for her young stepchildren. Tila Buchanan and her husband had been installing insulation in their garage and had stripped off their clothes just inside their home to get the itchy material off their skin. She was topless when her stepchildren bounded down the stairs. The children were a little embarrassed at the sight, but Buchanan told them she shouldn't treat her differently because she was a woman. They aren't uncomfortable seeing their dad's chest, she told them, so it shouldn't be different for her. This isn't a sexual thing, she recalled telling the children. I should be able to wear exactly what my husband wears. You shouldn't be embarrassed about this.
Scandalous.
But apparently, state officials don't have the same view. After getting
Why
wind,
are state officials involved at this point? What
Well,
happened?
After getting wind of what Buchanan had thought was an innocent encounter, they filed criminal charges against the 27-year-old Valley City woman.
Ridiculous.
She's now facing 3 counts of lewdness involving a child, a Class A misdemeanor. If convicted, Buchanan could land in jail and stay on the sex offender registry for the next 10 years.
Well, you better lock my mom up too, because I walked in on her and saw her titties a couple of times when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Better start pounding my mom's door down. Like, what kid doesn't bound into the room and see their mom's tits at some point? Isn't that a universal experience? in
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
Western
I know it
culture?
happened to me.
Of course it did. It happened to fucking everybody. Why is there a state investigation into this? What could she have done to prevent this? And how could she have handled it
Change
better?
discreetly.
Shrieked and ran out of the room and shamed her children for ever seeing a titty.
Yeah, I guess that's the proper
Scandalous.
response.
How dare you look at
And let's
my
remember, of course, this is in Utah. So
land of the free.
Jesus.
so we know what Utah, I mean, we know they're basically a fucking Mormon theocracy state.
Her
over there.
titties never should have been out. She should have had the magic underwear on underneath.
How dare you show a titty ever. Ever.
Wow.
Even your husband should never see those.
What a lame dystopia we live in, gentlemen.
I know. Especially if you live in fucking Utah.
Get the fuck out of
You
there.
saw some titty? Go to jail. Go to jail.
Turkey launches offensive in northern Syria with airstrikes.
Where? Who?
Turkish warplanes have bombed part of northeastern Syria at the start of an offensive which could lead to conflict with the Kurdish-led allies of the U.S. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said the operation was to create a safe zone cleared of Kurdish militias, which would also house Syrian refugees. Several locations were hit, and at least 2 civilians died, the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces said. So the reason that this is a story for us, I guess, is because this is happening because Trump has pulled back troops that were previously in these areas that were kind of keeping Turkey at bay.
Right.
And so
I believe you
no.
support that decision, TJ.
And immediately, this is the result.
So immediately
that's why
Turkey
this is-
does attack. Yeah, I do support it, and it's really weird because I thought we all kind of supported it. You know, like AOC was one of the Congress people to sign a pledge saying that we were demanding that troops be pulled out of Syria.
Oh, you didn't get the memo, TJ?
And then Trump...
These wars are a political football now.
Right. So, and then all of a sudden AOC is not for pulling these troops because it's irresponsible to our Kurdish allies. And, okay, well, I understand that Trump is not doing the withdrawal that we asked for, but it doesn't make sense to me that the logic is now if we totally withdraw and leave our Kurdish allies holding the bag, that's fine. But if we just pull back and leave our Kurdish allies holding the
You know
bag,
what?
that's an atrocity.
Go back to the Iraq War in 2006, dude, and you had people on shows like Real Time and all these talking head and pundits going, if we leave Iraq now, we're abandoning our allies there.
Right.
The blood and treasure, the lives we've already laid down. And now the Democrats are doing the same fucking thing. Like,
right.
really?
So, I mean, I just want out. I mean, I understand
There's
look,
consequences.
I understand the consequences for the Kurds, and I understand that we made promises to them, and I understand that it's a fucking dick move and that you're fucking condemning people to die. But, like, doesn't that have to happen at some point for us to just get the fuck out of this?
No, peace is established throughout all lands.
We cannot
when we
fucking...
come home.
Like, we've tried this experiment where we establish peace and stability and then we leave.
Well,
and guess what? Everywhere we're trying that, we're still fucking there.
All that has to happen to bring the troops home, TJ, and I think we all want that, is for Turkey to suddenly decide that it wants to take our position and allow Kurdistan to be a thing and, allow these Kurdish people their fucking due process within their society. So we just got to wait around
Until that happens.
indefinitely
Yeah.
with our military people in the crossfire of it
Until that happens.
until that happens. And then we
Then we
bring
can-
the troops home.
Then we're free to go.
Wow,
Like,
that's it?
I don't understand the fucking position. It just seems like something that makes me think, hey, it's just more fucking political theater bullshit because There doesn't seem to be any fucking stand on principle here. It just seems like you're doing whatever
Most progressives-
politically advantageous against the opposing fucking quote unquote
Most progressives
party.
ran on shit like end the fucking endless foreign occupations. Now it's like, well, maybe not this one. What do you mean not this one?
Oh, they want to end it, but they want to wait for stability. Let's wait for it to be stable. Like, that's not...
Yeah.
That's George W. Bush's position at that point.
Right.
So fuck you.
Remember when the Russians invaded Afghanistan? They're still waiting for stability. Fucking 50 years fucking later, 40
dude,
years later. Come on.
We did this to the Afghanis. This is already, like, when we pulled a lot of our major combat operations out of, and a lot of our peacekeeping operation out of Afghanistan, we left these people holding the bag with no ability to protect themselves from the rot of corruption that immediately consumed what police were left behind.
That was already there anyways.
Right. That our people were over there just fruitlessly fighting against. Fruitlessly trying to fight against this constant rot of interpolitical fighting and corruption that was making this peacekeeping effort just a completely lost cause. And then we pulled out. We pulled a lot of those fucking advisory position guys out.
You can't change the mentality, the way people think, or a culture of a fucking place by having an occupation there and having some fucking foreign troops there. Maybe you can keep the peace sometimes if you're lucky. There's brief moments of, okay, we're trying to make progress here. Look at it. If you actually look at the U.S. military rebuilding projects in a lot of these countries, a lot of them were fucking total disasters.
Right.
They had shit like, oh, it's going to cost this much to build this fucking road, and the road never got built, or the money got funneled to some fucking warlord. It's a fucking joke. We can't go, the U.S. can't go and solve all the world's fucking problems. We can't fucking do it. We're not going to make it any better.
But we've caused so many problems, and so many people's lives are hanging on the bleeding edge of our involvement in
Oh, no, you're right about that.
ramshackle policing of this fucking mess we've made.
You're 100% right about that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're over a moral barrel here.
Right.
I understand why this is a political football, because there's no good answer to it.
No.
You either pull our fucking support out of these places and watch people be wholesale slaughtered and watch a totalitarian regime gain control over millions of people, or you continue this long, slow grinding, we'll get out win bullshit
Until
shuffling
the end of
dance that we're
time.
doing until the end of time.
Yes.
And there's not a good answer to either of them.
Yeah.
Neither one is a good answer.
I just favor the first one because it's like ripping off a fucking Band-Aid.
I favor the first one only if there's some kind of change in our society that means we're not going to stick our dick right back in one of these beehives.
Right. No,
and say
I mean,
exactly.
no, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
what I'm
it
saying.
has to be like we're swearing off this behavior from now on as a country.
You ain't going to get that.
So
You ain't going to get that. So what's the point? What's the point of pulling the troops home if they're just going to be sent right back on the next train out to the next sand pit?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can stop. I don't know. I mean, got to do something, right? One way or another.
Maybe.
Survey. Average American hasn't made a new friend in 5 years.
Cool.
Wow.
Spending time in the company of good friends regularly has been shown to have a positive impact on health. But for many Americans, socializing in adulthood gets harder with age. A recent survey reveals 45% of adults admit they find it hard to make new friends. In fact, the average adult hasn't made a new friend in the last 5 years, according to the survey. The survey of 2,000 Americans, commissioned by Evite, dug into the reasons why Americans struggle with new friendships. Maybe because they don't have any fucking time.
Yeah. Maybe
You know what I
because-
mean? Like, maybe because most Americans are fucking working so hard and so long.
And maybe because what little free time we do have is increasingly being funneled into these giant corporate spaces where our discourse with one another is ever more vitriolic and, heightened.
Right.
Twitter, Facebook, all these little pseudo parasocial spaces where, nothing real ever happens. Maybe it has something to do with that.
Could be.
Because you do kind of gotta you gotta kind of go outside, right, to make
Right.
a friend.
Sure.
Usually, you got to go to somebody's house. You got to go meet somebody at a function.
So let's see what they're blaming it on. A third of adults blame their lack of new friendships on their aversion to the bar scene, where potentially new friends often go to socialize. Similarly, a third of respondents also feel everyone else's circle of friends has already formed, making it harder to join the gang.
That's not a can-do attitude.
Other reasons for an antisocial attitude include commitments to family, not having hobbies conducive to making friends, and moving to a new city. So they're not really blaming Twitter. Do you think they're wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. Like, for me, and I don't think the bar thing is a good criticism. I've never made a friend in a bar ever.
Same.
So, whatever. That's not what
I
you
can't even say I met many memorable people at fucking bars.
Right. And I don't really, I've always had friends, and I've never hung out with people that go and just chill at a bar to be at a bar. You know what I mean? Well, I guess that's not true. I went through my little phase. But I don't blame the aversion to the bar scene for this lack of friendships.
Check this out. So this is our sainted president. You can see his halo floating right over his head right there.
There he is, yeah.
Yeah, that's George W. Bush.
Good old Grandpa
Couple
George.
presidents ago.
Yeah. Still younger, by the way, than a lot of the current roster running for president.
That's very true.
Been out of politics for, 15 fucking years?
And then there's Ellen there.
Him and Ellen kind of look like they could be related at this point, dude.
And yeah, they do look
kind of morphing into one.
Well, what I tweeted was that Ellen's new girlfriend is fucking butt ugly. But
that's messed up, TJ.
It is.
That's transphobic.
And hey, she's got that stupid phone that scares people with its holes.
Oh yeah, it's got the
What's that?
tripod phobia or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
those people that are scared of holes or something.
Yeah. They don't like holes.
They don't like a bunch of little holes close together. It fucking freaks them out. Makes them feel like spiders are gonna come out or something.
Look, it's 3 different cameras, TJ.
Yeah. And anyway, she's sharing a laugh with George W. Bush there.
A war criminal.
And a lot of people don't like that. And so she had to kind of answer for it. And here's her answer for why that's okay.
Finally tonight, we thought we'd address kindness,
story about
civility,
anyway.
and politics, which don't seem to be mentioned in the same sentence much these days. It took a greeting.
You want a puke ball?
It's rising.
Also, to be
between former President George W. Bush and Ellen DeGeneres to bring it into sharp.
More like Ellen DeGenerate.
Multi-millionaires at the top of social status.
Focus.
It may not seem like a big deal for a celebrity to attend a football game, but I never leave my house, so it is a big deal.
Ellen and her wife, Portia de Rossi, were invited to sit in the private box of Dallas Cowboys.
Damn. She's fucking...
Portia?
Yeah, man. She fucking... Ellen's fucking out of her league there, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude. Portia de Rossi, I don't know. She's had a lot of, like...
She's not bad, though.
Plastic surgery stuff done.
Well, whatever.
I thought she was kind of hotter before she got all that shit done, but whatever.
You know, yeah, but I mean, like, look at Ellen. Ellen looks like a fucking... She's like turning into an old man, you know?
Yeah, dude.
She kind of looks like Johnny Carson.
It's Grandpa Ellen, dude.
Grandpa Ellen here, still fucking, tapping that fine pussy, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, former President George W. Bush, and his wife Laura were also there.
But during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and so people were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11. And
I noticed, Ellen.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yep, we picked up on it.
But a lot of people were mad, and they did what people do when they're mad. They tweet, and but here's one tweet that I loved. This
Ellen and you share a similar sentiment towards Twitter there, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, you want to? Does that make you identify with Ellen a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna start watching her show.
Dude, you identify as Ellen now?
I want to be Ellen. Who doesn't though? You get to fuck Portia de Rossi. You get to be a multimillionaire. You get to chill with George W. Bush.
Yeah, you got your name, fucking a huge fucking LED screen behind you. Fucking, it'd be Paul.
A lot of good shit.
Yeah, dude.
As Ellen and George Bush together makes me have faith in America again. And
why? Why would it have that?
Matthew O.
Ooh. Okay.
But instead of getting into the fray on social media, Ellen used the moment to preach about civility.
Here's the thing. I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay, that we're all different.
Yeah, some of us are lesbians that like to lick pussy.
Some of us are war criminals.
And some of us like to, just genocide a fucking whole country and
hey, look, everyone's
waste
different.
A bunch of people and fucking cause 470,000 fucking people to die at least.
At least.
Well, can we all get along?
Come on. Different strokes for different folks.
I mean, look, he almost choked on a pretzel once.
It's true.
That pretzel was a fucking American hero. All right.
Damn. You better put redneck voice, TJ.
Oh shit. Well, no, because the redneck would
bullshit. A redneck say that, TJ.
I have to do it in like a
smarmy.
That pretzel was very nearly the the greatest hero in American history.
It's TJ's fart-sniffing liberal.
I guess. That's my New England fart-sniffing liberal guy. I don't know.
I just think it's really sad that we live in a country that is raptly pissed off about some stupid talk show host and some stupid ex-president watching a stupid football game.
At the end of the day, like, I don't think Ellen is, like, endorsing George W. Bush by sitting next to him and like, what is she supposed to do? Is she supposed to, like, spit on him when he's near and
stoically watch the game?
I mean, I think there's a little gap between stoning him and just not showing up and being publicly buddy-buddy with him, though.
Right.
I mean, she is kind of endorsing him at that level. She's saying it's okay to sit down with a fucking mass murderer and laugh with him.
Well, you know what? Let's not act like America just stood idly by and was, like, whoa, what? Us? We had no idea. Like, we knew what the fuck was going on. People supported that war.
Well, of course they did.
People continue to support that war even to this day somehow.
Smoke them out, TJ. You got to smoke them out. Fight them
So, I mean,
there,
like,
so
we
don't
can't
fight 'em
act.
here.
We can't act like George W. Bush alone has the culpability for this shit.
No,
I mean,
of course
obviously,
not.
he was the fucking president. He knowingly lied to get us into war.
But he doesn't have the culpability.
He doesn't have the complete culpability because a lot of people fucking defended his stupid ass. Even when it was fucking clear it was a mistake, people continue to defend him just because he was the captain of their team.
I mean, shit, even...
So, I mean, they all fucking share in the culpability, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you're never going to get the accountability to go that low. You got to have somebody take the fucking hit for it.
Right.
And who better than George W. Bush?
So what should she have done? She should just, she should walk away?
I don't give a fuck what she does. I'll be honest with you. I don't give a dude. If she pulled a live chicken out of her ass live on her show, I might care what she does.
That would be
failing that. The
that
fact
looks like
that
it's
some
possible.
rich fucking Hollywood lesbian millionaire is hanging out with a fucking old war criminal. That's not even news in my world, man.
Yeah, that's a sitcom, if anything.
It's not even that. It's not a sitcom I would watch. It sounds like a shitcom.
I'd watch it. Rich. Oh, no, I can't say that word. Never mind.
Yeah, don't even go there.
Hey, Matt. Hey, it's time. It's time for Matt Lauer.
Butt rape with Matt Lauer.
My whole fucking world is crumbling.
Finally.
Hey, look who it's by.
You waited patiently, Paul.
Hey, TJ, who wrote this article?
Brian Stelter, dude.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
that's
shit,
cool.
it's Brian.
It's Brian time.
Here it is.
It's time for the Brian. So, yeah, Paul, obviously you were waiting with bated breath. You waited very patiently.
I did.
So here it is. When NBC News fired Matt Lauer 2 years ago, the network said an employee accused him of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace. Now that employee, Brooke Nevels, is speaking publicly for the first time and alleging that Lauer raped her in 2014. The disturbing account is detailed in Catch and Kill, a book by Ronan Farrow that comes out next Tuesday. CNN obtained a copy of the book ahead of its publication date. Nevels told Farrow that she had bled for days afterwards. She said the incident derailed my life. She eventually left NBC and received a 7-figure settlement payment. Lauer categorically denied Neville's rape accusations after it was first reported by Variety magazine on Wednesday morning. The story Brooke tells is filled with false details intended only to create the impression that this was an abusive encounter, he said. In a lengthy statement, Lauer admitted to extramarital affairs, including with former co-workers, but said, "I never assaulted anyone or forced anyone to have sex, period." Lauer also refuted other claims that have been made about his conduct at NBC, including the report that his office had a button that let him lock the door from the inside. There was no such locking mechanism. It didn't exist, he said.
So basically the nuh-uh defense.
Nuh-uh.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. We live in a climate right now where these accusations get thrown around fancy-free sometimes, and we've seen some examples of people that have been Me Too'd that
shouldn't it
didn't
be?
deserve it.
You think it'd be really easy to just verify or not verify the claim that he has a button in his office that locks the fucking door?
Let me just give you one little piece
Like,
of
is
advice.
there evidence of that fucking button or isn't there? Like, you know what I mean?
The button seems like it's an exaggeration.
You don't
But
think...
I will say this, TJ. There's one man you don't want to accuse of this, TJ.
Who's that?
Oh, I think you know who that is. You don't know who it is?
No.
You don't fuck with Kevin Spacey, TJ. Now, you notice that Matt Lauer, he ain't got the fucking clout.
Yeah,
You
all
think
his
it-
accusers live.
Yeah. Still
You
living
should
and
talk
breathing.
to Kevin Spacey about it, man.
Kevin Spacey, just give him one call. Matt Lauer's problems go
One
bye-bye.
call, that's all. You know,
I
Oh,
just
the
don't-
witness forgets their testimony. The fucking witness turns up dead
none
in
of
a
us,
ditch.
None of us were there. I don't know the credibility of the claim.
Right.
And I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, could this have happened? Of course it could have happened. But it's like, it's 5 years later and it's in a tell-all book. So it's like, I mean, if anything gives me pause more than anything, it's when it's presented in that format. If someone just came forward and said someone did something, here's the facts, here's the evidence, here's what I want to say. But usually what happens is someone's out to sell something, and it's generally a book or it's generally TV appearances or whatever. They come out and they say this person who is obviously this rich, famous, powerful man had inappropriate contact with me or assaulted me or drugged me or whatever. And obviously it's disturbing to hear it. In the case of like someone like Bill Cosby, it's like, oh, there's evidence that happened and it's damning and he's fucked. And if Matt Lauer's case, I mean, he was just fired. He's never been criminally charged. I don't know. I mean, if there is something to it, then I guess there's not enough evidence.
Does
to
it
take that
jibe with
venue.
reality at all? A world where Matt Lauer was butt raping people, though. I
don't
never.
know.
I'm just telling you.
I don't know inside
it
the
has-
man's soul.
It has no bearing on the credibility of the claim one way or the other. That's for the courts to decide. But God damn, it is hard for me to jibe reality with a butt raping Matt Lauer out there.
It's
Yeah.
possible though.
He was such an institution. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if it was the fact of him. He just seemed kind of soft.
Yeah. He didn't
Yeah.
seem like a butt raper.
Right.
That's how they get you.
I guess.
Come in my office. Meh. What's that button do? Oh, you don't want to know.
You don't even want to know. I'll just try to open the door again. You'll find out.
But who knows?
Shit's just got the panels start moving away and shit.
Let's move to a little bit lighter of a story. You guys will like this. Deer crashes through window of Long Island hair salon. So this deer crashed through the window. It's pretty much all you need to know.
Okay.
So watch the video.
Gonna get a haircut.
So here's a dude. Here's an old dude getting a haircut. You know, all the
Yeah.
shit going on.
I'm here for my annual tour.
Oh shit! Oh, fuck,
damn.
dude!
What the fuck, dude?
That's fucking crazy.
All right,
That lady should have immediately said, "No, I'm not okay,"
check this out.
and sued the
Okay,
deer.
slow mo, dude.
I mean, who fucking? You're sitting there, waiting for your haircut or whatever, minding your own fucking business. And boom, motherfucking deer.
Oh, you know what? I think I know what happened.
Yeah.
I think the deer saw the fucking car and it panicked and it fucking ran and this is right in its path. It's just this and it's dumb, so it's like that's not a fucking sheet of or a pane of glass. It's just like and runs right through it.
Yep. Fucking crazy.
That's a big ass buck.
Dude, there's one angle not being explored here, though.
What's that, Paul?
Dude, when you pulled up that fucking story for this, on the side was another story about zombie deer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What if it was one of them?
We can check it out.
Look at that.
Nevada fighting to keep zombie deer from entering state.
It's all coming together.
Zombie deer may sound like something in a bad B movie, but wildlife regulators say they're real, and officials are working to keep them out of Nevada. A term relates to animals that have contracted chronic wasting disease, a highly contagious and terminal disorder that causes symptoms such as lack of fear of humans, lethargy, and emaciation.
Well, I definitely didn't qualify for that deer.
It can destroy deer and elk populations. Officials are testing dead animals and monitoring migratory elk and deer at the state line, which Utah for signs of sickness. State line with Utah for signs of sickness. Peregrine Wolf, a Nevada Department of Wildlife veterinarian, said. Nevada legislatures also passed a law earlier this year to keep parts of certain carcasses out of the state in an attempt to stop the spread of the disease.
Mm-hmm. Dude, can you see it? It's happening, dude.
Zombie deer.
It's happening. 2019. We were all so distracted by our bullshit political circus that we didn't even see the Grim Reaper knocking at our door. We called it chronic wasting disease. Fitting, because it wasted us.
Oh shit's gonna jump from deers to humans, dude. You know what's fucking gonna happen?
Oh, yeah.
The fucking hunter's gonna be out in the woods. That deer is gonna be like, that deer looks kind of hot. They fucking bone, dude. Before you know it, he's going back. He bones his wife. Zombie apocalypse.
Hell yeah. So check this out. FBI locates woman who boarded plane in Orlando without ID or ticket.
How?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty impressive, dude.
The FBI on Tuesday confirmed the woman who boarded a Delta Airlines flight at Orlando International Airport on Saturday without a boarding pass or ID has been located. A public affairs officer for the FBI's field office in Tampa had no additional information to release about Sylvia Richter. I can confirm the individual has been located. No other details to share at this time. Richter allegedly fooled a Transportation Security Administration agent by pretending to be part of another family. Multiple people with knowledge of the Yeah.
With the breadth of this coming out again, can we just admit the TSA is worthless? And you talk about cancel culture. Cancel the fucking TSA, which doesn't catch shit for fucking crime. They don't fucking catch bombs. They don't catch guns. They don't catch people without IDs and tickets who board airplanes.
Somebody just wandered onto a plane.
Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many fucking things that are supposed to safeguard against this. Like, there's that TSA chick you're supposed to show your ID and ticket to.
Oh, but by the way, you
verify
can very
shit.
easily fake those. That's not a fucking issue. The only effective measure that we've done since 9/11 is making sure the cockpits can't be broken into, securing those doors. Everything else, it's a joke, and this is just a fucking further evidence. Like, it took someone get on the flight to be like, "You're in my seat," to figure this. The fact that this woman had no ticket, no ID, no nothing.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm just going to sneak me on a fucking airplane.
It said she's been located. So does that mean she flew?
Yeah.
No, she didn't fly. She was like.
Or what happened? Well, how didn't they detain her there then?
Well, what happened is someone got on the plane and was like, "Someone's in my seat," and she couldn't produce a boarding pass and tried to, like, if you read it here, it says, Delta representatives asked a female passenger who was sitting in someone else's seat to produce a boarding pass, in which she could not. OPD said in a statement. They continued. Officers asked the passenger for identification and for a boarding pass, in which she stated she threw her ticket away and did not have identification. Since the passenger cannot produce identification or a boarding pass, the officers escorted the passenger to the shuttle to exit the airport property.
What?
Yeah, why didn't they detain her then?
She got busted only because she was in someone else's seat. If that person had made the flight, she would have flown wherever the fuck the flight was going.
Wow.
Without a hitch. Which, the fact that she did it this time maybe makes me think that she's done it before.
Sounds
safe bet.
Sounds like she's good at it.
At the very least, other people have done it.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure,
it seems get away withable.
It
right?
is. It totally is. The TSA is totally ineffectual. We spend billions of dollars on it. It's a waste of fucking
This is
money.
catch me if you can bullshit. What are people going to start just dressing like pilots again? Oh,
Yeah,
howdy,
I'm a
man. I'm going to
fucking
sit in the
pilot.
jump seat. Oh, I'd love a glass of milk. Thank you.
So Amber Geiger sentenced to 10 years for murder of Botham Jean. This is a little bit older of a story, but
Well, we covered it.
we did cover the initial stage of this story, and it kind of vanished from my radar for a while
I think
until this
everybody's-
sentencing happened.
Right.
But she was convicted.
Because I didn't even hear about the part where she got charged with murder. Like, I remember.
Oh no, I'd heard that.
I hadn't heard that. I don't fucking recall it anyway. I remember that she'd gone into the dude's apartment, quote unquote, mistaking it for hers, and shot him while he's sitting there eating ice cream or some shit.
You know what the crazy thing is? Is the only reason I believe she was convicted is because she wasn't on duty. If they'd gone to his house for some other reason, they probably would have found some defense to, drop the ice cream spoon.
We then mistook the ice cream for an assault rifle.
And then unloaded on him.
We had no choice but to make the split-second decision.
Life or death.
To fire.
And it was just death.
I wasn't going to ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't want you to go to jail, the brother Brant Jean said. Didn't really like his sister, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Before
Or his
getting
brother.
up what?
His brother.
Oh, yeah. Said before getting up to wrap his arms around Miss Geiger, I want the best for you. Sounds like Scotty's fucking reaction if I was killed.
Yeah.
I don't even want you to go to jail, man.
Look, you know what? I mean, TJ was a piece of shit. We're all tired of him. Let's just move on with our lives.
Jeez.
Thank you for putting an end to that sad chapter. So anyway, she was sentenced, but that's good. I agree with that.
This is actually unusual. This is actually a thing. He's actually gonna go hug her.
Right. That's super unusual.
That is very unusual that would happen.
But anyway,
hey.
the interesting thing, for my money, is Joshua Brown,
The guy that was just
the dude who was an instrumental witness in this case, right?
Yep.
Is dead.
Yeah.
Just days later.
Yep. In a drug deal gone bad. TJ.
Now we We could talk about it. I could read the article, but Paul, you were talking about some of the details.
Well,
of this case.
there's just a lot of like speculation
So
going on.
this is one, like, we can call this like Paul's conspiracy corner, because you got kind of your finger on the pulse of that shit.
I like conspiracy
right.
stuff.
And so
Anytime,
there's some
like, a major
there's some
witness
conspiring about this, right?
So there are people, I've seen people saying that this is a police cover-up, that the police wanted this guy dead because they put one of their own behind bars for 10 years, or
right. So it's like payback.
And then I've heard that this is payback from the black community for hugging the girl that just killed this Botham Jean guy. I've heard that's being covered up, that this was an assassination rather than a drug deal gone bad. But the basic story is these guys drove from Alexandria, Louisiana, I think it is.
Yeah.
To, I think it was...
They're supposedly going to purchase drugs from Joshua Brown, who was a key witness.
Right.
In the Amber
in
Geiger
Dallas
trial. Yeah, so they drove from Alexandria, Louisiana to Dallas, Texas, I guess. Is that where they ended up?
Yep.
Okay.
So they go all the way from Louisiana to Texas to make a drug deal. They get in a shootout and just kind of leave the drugs and the money.
Right. So
and then are caught later.
So basically, they were doing this big long road trip to come buy drugs from Joshua Brown here,
right?
Who was someone who testified, against Amber Geiger. And they got into an argument of some kind. They shot Joshua Brown and then left the scene without taking either their money or the weed.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that being a suspicious sort of
here it says
story.
Jaquarius Mitchell told the police that Brown shot him in the chest after Green and Brown got in an altercation during the drug deal, and that Green then shot Brown twice, Moore said.
Okay.
So it's like he shot him, and then...
So they're saying that Brown shot first.
And then it was killed.
And they were retaliating against him in self-defense.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And his murder happened 2 days after Geiger's conviction.
Isn't it a coincidence, TJ?
Isn't
it just funny how that happens?
I mean, it's definitely it is at the very least a coincidence.
Absolutely not.
And said so. Police confiscated 12 pounds of marijuana, 149 grams of THC cartridges, and $4,157 in cash during the search of Brown's home. So I guess Brown was holding a lot of weed,
right. So they didn't
products.
They didn't take any of that with them. So like I guess if the story is self-defense, then you didn't go there to kill them. So you probably would freak out and run at that point, I guess, right?
I mean, that's possible. They didn't know where they had the shit stored or something. Who knows?
That's right. Yeah, be a good little buyer of the official account.
I mean, I don't think it's impossible that something happened here.
Oh, totally, yeah. Let's raise the specter of impossibility in this argument. Absolutely, yeah. I don't suppose it's impossible that an angel descended down from heaven and slew these men.
Could have been. Maybe it was.
I don't think
maybe it was the Archangel Gabriel. You don't know.
The Loch Ness Monster took a little trip over to America and showed up and killed this gentleman.
I would say that's pretty close to impossible.
I mean,
no, I wouldn't say it's outside the realm of possibility, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I would.
No,
unless you have actual evidence to present that is.
All right. Well, I think it's.
I've got a ton
I think there's a more
evidence.
distinct possibility of a police vengeance sort of deal. Than there is the Loch Ness
police
Monster.
Don't do things like that, TJ.
Oh, they don't?
Police don't act like a gang of thugs, enforcing the law unevenly based on, their own edicts and acting extrajudicially. Well, they never do anything like that.
If this guy was a drug dealer, wouldn't it make more sense to fucking totally take him off as a witness and say, look, this guy's and bust him and say, look, he has 12 pounds of pot. He's not a credible witness. He'll say anything. Wouldn't that make sense?
That's true.
More sense.
He had 12 pounds of planted pot. Okay.
Yeah, well, even though the law is 149 grams of THC in Texas, is going to fucking give you.
That was right from the evidence locker over at the Dallas PD.
15, 20 years in prison. Just
sprinkle some crack on him. There you go. Look at him.
I enjoy conspiracy theories as much as the next person, but this one,
you could invalidate him just by planting the drugs.
Whoopsie daisy!
Without needing to kill him.
Had a bunch of drugs.
It seems like a very strange target for a
Yeah, but then he gets to defend himself, and he might be able to produce evidence that he has nothing to do with those drugs and shit. No, it's easier to just shoot him and sprinkle some crack on him.
Right, but he just seems like a strange target for the police to go after, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible.
I mean,
but
he's just a witness.
I mean, unless someone
unless they're just trying to say, like, if you witness in the future,
here's the thing:
don't fucking tattle on us cops, or we'll fucking kill you after the fact.
All people have is a narrative based on what? Just that it's strange. I mean, sure that it is strange, but something being strange doesn't mean it's impossible or implausible.
You want to hear strange?
Yes.
There's an eyewitness account of this, Scotty, not covered in the mainstream media accounts. That say that there was another person present, an old man in a hoodie.
Wow.
And people are willing to positively identify that man as Mitch McConnell.
Wow.
Was present at this deal.
Another wrinkle in this case.
A bunch more wrinkles. Have you seen Mitch McConnell? Jesus Christ.
The rabbit hole just got a little deeper.
Maybe
a
turtleneck in there as well.
I'm not encouraging people to subvert their critical thinking to fantastical, baseless conspiracy theorization. But that's exactly what I'm doing.
There you go.
Hey, it's your life. Do whatever you want with it.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting to consider every angle.
Yeah,
and I mean, obviously, when something looks weird, sometimes it's because there's something weird going on.
Yeah, you never know.
You never fucking know.
Yeah,
Keep an open mind.
My great-great-grandpappy used
want
to say,
to
where
believe.
there's smoke, there's fire, TJ, and I'll leave it at that.
I don't know if this amounts to smoke, but...
You credulous.
Jesus.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Do you have any great poupon?
I do. All right. Thank you guys for watching. It's a kind of a long one.
Was it?
It's pretty long.
Cool.
Good.
And
Feed the patrons.
Yeah. There's a
Feed them. They hunger. They hunger.
I think we missed you guys last week, so.
Yep.
So
we're back.
A little longer for you. It's back on track.
Get back on track. Get back on the track. Get on that track.